What's up, Broski Nation? BroskiPlays here. Welcome to a brand new Binding of Isaac Repentance video. We're only 6 days left until the Binding of Isaac Repentance finally releases on Steam, and I cannot wait to check this out with you guys. Before we're going to start this video, I want to show off the comment of the day, which is from Ariel Mejia. Commented on the top 10 most anticipated items in Repentance video, and he says, I hope the black mushroom item comes into Repentance. It will be funny to play with it while the whole screen and audio are distorted. That's a great comment, and thank you for asking. So if you guys want to be the next comment of the day, all you have to do is tell me your favorite boss from Antibirth, and the best one with the best reason will get another spotlight in the next video tomorrow. Anyway, with that out of the way, let's begin with the video. But before we do that, spoiler warning. If you don't want to get spoiled by anything that I'm going to be saying in this video, be sure to click away now. I don't want to spoil anything that has to do with the Binding of Isaac or just ruin your fun for the game. Anyway, are you ready? Let's go. Before we're going to move on with the bosses, we're going to start with the interview that Edmund did yesterday and a GIF that Tyrone posted, a daily GIF that he keeps doing every day. So Edmund told NorthernLion about Birthright being 16 items in one, which is really cool. So Birthright is basically going to be 16 effects for 16 different characters. Bethany's Book of Virtues will have 100 plus items within the same item. Understand what I mean by that. New room mechanics made by Leather Ice Cream that will be really unique, like puzzles, mini rooms that have separate rooms inside of them, and other really cool stuff that you guys will definitely like. 7,000 new rooms that have already been added in Repentance. A mysterious new item called the Bag that got teased by Edmund, which he joked about had over 1 billion items in one. And Edmund also teased a new challenge, which could also be seen as a separate game mode a la Greed mode, which is really cool. Now we're going to look at Tyrone's daily GIF. Credits to Sick Manor for these details that he found out. Shows off the Book of Virtues synergizing with Kidney Bean. Giant Bean Trinket from Antibirth finally synergizes with Kidney Bean. Bethany gains purple flames that when impacted explode in charmed farts. New fart sounds as well, and Kidney Bean got a resprite. So really cool stuff there. Now with that out of the way, let's talk about the bosses. Repentance will have a total of 25 plus new bosses according to the Steam page. 17 of those are from Antibirth. So far we have 4 new confirmed bosses. That means 4 bosses haven't been shown off yet, but that's if we follow the Steam page. We might have more bosses or less, we don't know yet. There will be variants of existing bosses too, but I won't count those in here. A new ending and final boss might also be added. Maybe it will be that, maybe it will be something else. It will be really cool to see what the final boss will be of this expansion. Anyway, Antibirth bosses. So these are the bosses that are going to be added that are from the fan expansion Antibirth. Let's start with the first one, which is Baby Plum, which appears in Basement, Cellar and Burning Basement. It's a gigantic red boomfly that flies around the room spitting bloodshot. It's pretty cute and it appears in chapter 1. It also drops the item Lil Plum if the player doesn't get damaged by Baby Plum at all. Then we have Lil Bub, which was formerly known in Antibirth as Beelzebub. A drowned version of the Duke of Flies that spits small leeches instead of flies and appears in Downpour and in Dross. Then we have Wormwood, which appears in Downpour and Dross, and it's a gigantic leech that can create holes in the floor and launch itself through walls. It will also be in Dross with an alternate dark green palette. The Dray Maker, a humanoid ghost that pirouettes around and controls water in the room, and it will appear in the Downpour floor. We have Hornfell, which is a small humanoid demon that rides in a minecart, traveling through doors and throwing variants of bombs while backed by some other enemies in minecarts. It will appear in mines. Then we have the Pile, which is a really special one, because this boss will appear in chapter 3. So that's Dank Depths, the Depths, and I believe Necropolis. Skeletal version of Polycephalus. Sorry if I butchered that. That spawns bonies and can pop in and out of the ground and appear in random parts of the room each time. And it will also appear in a mausoleum. Then we have Reap Creep, which will appear in the caves, in flooded caves, and in the catacombs. It's a gigantic wall creep which takes elements from 3 of the enemy variants. It sticks to the top wall and attacks Isaac while moving around, and it will appear in mines as well. Tough Twins, a really unique boss which is a pair of armored Larry Juniors who must be rendered vulnerable by using explosions against them, and they appear in the mines. Then we have the Great Gideon, one of the most unique bosses of the Antibirth expansion. It's a giant grimace that cannot be killed under normal circumstances. Instead, it summons waves of enemies that must be cleared out while firing at Isaac as well. Has a brand new wave system in Repentance instead of it spawning random enemies, and it also has a unique health bar showing the remaining amount of waves, and it will appear in mines. The Heretic, which has not been revealed yet, it's an undead form of the Hound, and it has a mechanic that has to do with fireplaces. It also shoots homing tears, and it will appear in the Mausoleum. Then we have the Visage. The Visage is one of the bosses that can appear in Mausoleum, has not been shown off in any of the blog posts yet, and it's the more difficult version of the Mask of Infamy. Then we have the Siren, another boss for Mausoleum that has been shown off in the blog post yet. It's a demonoid creature created by Not Your Sagittarius, who jumps your familiars, sings and uses familiars to do her bidding. And then we have Mausoleum Mom, a more difficult version of Mom, releases flames upon impact and fires homing tears, and will always be the final boss of Mausoleum 2 or the alt floor for Mausoleum if that gets announced. The Scourge, sorry if I butchered that as well, uses the wall as a way to traverse the room. It's a boss version of the Antibirth enemy Snapper, and it will appear in the corpse. Here we have Rodgard, a boss which lets Isaac go inside and has multiple forms, and it will appear in the corpse floor. Then we have Chimera, a boss that is a hybrid between the cage and the gurgling, which will appear in the corpse floor. And then finally we have the new final boss, which won't be the Witness, which is kind of interesting. So Edmund has confirmed that this won't be the Witness and that it will be changed. The boss room will also not be as massive as it was in Antibirth, which was literally like one of the most massive rooms I've ever seen in an Isaac game ever. And it will feature a brand new ending as well as maybe even a new path, we don't know, but that will be really cool. Now let's look at the new bosses that have been revealed in the blog post and other media. So first up we have Singe, which I actually talked about yesterday already, which is a boss from the Ash Pit if you didn't know, and it currently has no footage or images about its behavior. Still pretty cool to know. Then we have Bombino, a new boss that's gonna be in the Flooded Caves. It's a boss version of Bumbo, and it appears in Flooded Caves. It swipes at the player, destroying obstacles in its way, slams the ground, creating a rock wave similar to the cage, charges at the wall, causes rocks to cascade down, and it becomes dizzy for a while afterward. Then we have Min Min, a new boss for Downpour, a variant of the Husk with an unknown first phase. The Scene phase greatly resembles the third phase of Isaac, appears in the Downpour, appears as a flaming ghost and moves towards Isaac, summoning a ring of willow flies, ducks under the water, creates several light patches around this room, and these patches become willow flies. So this is another new boss. Then we have the Clock, which is going to be a poop-like boss, fires poop spiral shots, spawns rolling dross lips, shoots out 3 lines of waves similarly to the cage but with fart appearance. These waves spawn poops and corny poops, creates a whirlpool that moves objects around him in a spiral pattern. Upon death, it gets flushed by an unknown source and spirals downwards until it disappears. So those were all the new bosses. Now we're gonna look at the complete package of the numbers. So the Binding of Isaac Repentance will bring the total boss count to 87 bosses, which is insane. Afterbirth added only 10 bosses, and Afterbirth Plus added a mere 6 bosses. This means that Repentance will add double the amount of Afterbirth's bosses and 4 times the amount of Afterbirth Plus's bosses, which is incredible. That's really insane. That really shows how many bosses they are gonna add. This is literally the biggest DLC they've ever done, which is really cool. Anyway, that is all we know so far about the bosses. Of course, if there is going to be any new boss information, I will be sure to post and update you guys in the description with new information about the bosses. But until then, hopefully you guys enjoy these Repentance videos. I try to do them daily. So far, it's been going really well. I love the support and the love you guys gave on the other videos. They are doing really well. I'm really happy for that. And hopefully you guys are going to enjoy Repentance once it comes out in about 6 days. Anyway, that was BroskiPlays. Thank you so much for watching this video. And this was BroskiPlays. And stay broski.